Welcome to Mars.
And at what point did you decide to get into the music game?
One time I was staying with my partner. I was in Texas for a little bit.
So you decided to enter the music game when you were in Texas?
Nah, I had freshly moved back from Texas.
Okay.
And moms and pops, we in California, you know what I'm saying, doing our thing.
About how old are you?
We moved out there. It had to be about 13. Yeah, probably about.
So at the age of 13, you decided
13,
to get into the music game?
Nah. I'm telling you, basically, we left California and moved to Texas. Moms and pops going through some shit. We go to Texas. While I'm out there, I'm like, I hate Texas. I want to come back to Cali.
Right.
I come live with some family members. And when I'm living with one of the family members, his friends is rapping and shit.
Okay.
And my other cousin, I would go to his house, and they kind of playing with the music. He fake freestyling and shit. And I'm like, everybody kind of dealing with music. And I just kind of hung with my other cousin more. So if you hang around the shop long enough, you're going to get a haircut.
Yes.
And I end up just kind of soaking up the music shit. And I tried it, being in a group with one of them. And when the CD came out, everybody was vibing and feeling it. And I just stayed down with it. So I basically got into the music game just being around some niggas.
So you got into the music game on accident, just being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
All right, so you start out with this group, right?
Last Resort.
And they put your music out.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it? I'm assuming it was on a tape?
Yeah, first. Well, out that group of friends, only like two of them rapped.
Right.
And one of them did a compilation, and then one of them did a solo career. I joined a group with bro with a solo career, and we had a CD called Last Resort. The other cat, he had a compilation called Making It Happen. So I kind of A&R'd that project too, unawarely back then. Right. I went and got artists and shit that he wanted to be on there. Irk the Jerk was on there. Kevin Allen, yeah, he was on that project. But so I ended up getting a verse on that. Boom. Then I ended up getting a group with bruh, and that come out. So before I knew it, I was on 2 pressed up CDs and Rasputins.
Right. So that's what I was getting at right there.
Yeah.
You jumped into the game, and right away you see your name on the credits, and you're on the CD. You can actually tell people, hey, if you get this album or this CD, you're gonna hear me on it. What was it feeling like having the new product out there that you can show to everybody?
Initially, I just thought it would be dope to have my CD in the store, to walk in there and see Yogi Calhoun up there, see my face on the cover. I just thought that would be fly. You know what I'm saying? To go in there and see that, like, oh, that's dope.
But shit changes when they start telling you you're dope.
yeah, that started happening too. But
tell us about that. How was that when people started telling you how you started seeing the success?
At first I thought niggas was gassing me. You feel me? Because everybody tell me I'm dope, and I hear a lot of niggas and I think they trash, and I'm like, these niggas, you feel me? Like rappers usually, you know what I mean? Niggas tell you he rapping most of the time. You hear the CD, check it out. Most of the time, nigga be trash to me.
Right.
I don't know how everybody's feeling, but most of the time, nigga be trash.
You're telling the truth.
You know what I'm saying? You know how this shit go. And so niggas, everybody telling me I'm dope. I'm like, niggas just don't want to tell me I'm trash.
Right.
You feel me? And then eventually, you see your influence. People start coming to tell you different shit, and eventually you start smelling yourself.
People start wanting to work with you.
I started seeing why they liked it. I became a fan of it. You know what I mean? I had to go re-listen to it. Like, why they really think this shit dope? And I listened to it, and I became a fan. So I'm a Yogi Calhoun fan. I'm probably the biggest one.
So now even you like you.
I even like me. I see why they like me. It's dope.
So what was next after those 2 projects came out and people were giving you pretty much your flowers and letting you know that you were dope? What was next?
After that, I hooked up with Pretty Black. Me and Black, after that, I hooked up with Pretty Black. I was working on my solo project. And then from there, me and Black ended up linking up. And then that was going to be a group project. And then it ended up being Black's solo project. And then I ended up doing a Demolition Man mixtape at that time. You feel me? All the songs that I was working on all that time, I just turned that into a Demolition Man mixtape. When I finally met them, that's when I seen Stalin again. He was at their house. And we was like, you feel me? He's like, I'll be fucking with them all the time. I'm over here, woo. He's like, you want me to get on something? I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what happened. I ended up doing the Demolition Man mixtape, putting that together, Money in the Basket. And then Black had just did Hate Me Now. We put out Black first out. It was called, his name was Verse Style at the time. He wasn't Pretty Black yet. You know what I'm saying? It was Verse Style.
And what are some of the other projects you started releasing? And tell everybody who you've been working with and stuff like that. As far as because that wasn't that might have been your start, but
Yeah, that was my start.
You got some accolades on you.
On that project right there, Demolition Man. I had my first features. I had did something with me Hustling and FedEx. We got a song together called "Can't Escape." It's to the old Lost Boys beat. I can't escape this life that I'm living. I'm in the mix. I'm in love with through women. It's Mr. Cheeks, Lost Boys, little remake we did. But that first project I had Hus and Fetty on there, and then I had Keek on that, and that was it. I didn't do nothing with Jack yet, and then that was the first project. So from there, I didn't. I immediately had to go to Texas. My brother ended up getting killed. My brother ended up dying. My brother died in a motorcycle accident. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, JB.
Rest in peace.
And so I went out there with the mixtape. So I basically had money in the basket for a while. I wasn't pressing up projects and all of that. I went out there with that and came back to the Bay. Niggas like, this a classic. I'm like, oh, they fucking with it at home too. You know what I'm saying? So after that, I had to go back to Texas to go handle up.
Going back and forth.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth.
And so you're building a fan base in both places. Mm-hmm. Being where you're from, California, and then when you go back over there, they fucking with it too?
Yeah, organically though, because they knew I rapped in California. They knew I was a rapper in California, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I didn't have projects. I didn't have product and all of that. I've been going to Texas before I was a rapper.
Right.
So the older people I'll start meeting, hanging around my brother, they like, oh yeah, he rapping in California. He JB brother. Woo.
Right.
So yeah, and then so I was actually working on a project to put out in the Bay. This is what's ill about all this shit is that when I'm in Texas, I put the mixtape out. They like, oh, he do rap. You know, they kind of like solidify it.
Right.
And then other people that was rapping at that time later on became, A&Rs or music program directors or, they just grew up. They started doing different shit. They evolved.
Yeah.
So by me coming back at a time when I'm working on a project to turn into California, trying to create a sound with like Southern production and, you feel me, Bay Area lingo on it. You feel me? That was going to be my sound and my style. Opposite of like styling and like the Mechanics and Jack with Rob Lowe and them, you feel me? So I was creating my sauce like that, and I did like 2 songs, and I took it to the DJs out there. Like, man, how you feel about this? Does it sound like something y'all kind of vibe with? Cause I'm working with a producer out there, and I had a song called Gucci Backpack, and he was like, man, like face scratched up, like hell yeah,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z look,
yeah, he like, yeah, he like, and again, I'm like, this nigga kind of gassing, you feel me? But immediately he was like, yeah, it's going. And shit, man, he kept it solid. Like that DJ was bigger than I thought. I know him organically, but he was a big deal. Yeah. He DJ'd at all the colleges for Texas Tech. He DJ'd on he the main DJ out there.
That's a lesson for everybody watching. Be careful who you come across because they might be more influential than you think. So you can't just be thinking you're tighter than everybody all the time. So you just knowing that guy and keeping it raw with you bumped into somebody organically, like you said, and it was beneficial to you. Yeah,
I was doing my due diligence because he had a mixtape shop.
Right.
So I went down there trying to use my hustler sense on what to do and how to do. Right. And luckily, he really felt it like how he was saying, and he did. He put it in the mix, organically, and started playing it in the club. And after I seen him, I went to the radio station too and took it down there. And then I kept hearing about the song playing in the club. Well, I knew it was playing. I heard about it playing in the club. Then I went in there. I heard it myself one night, and then I'm throwing money. I'm hella juice. That shit feel hella good, nigga. You know what I mean? Hear your music. You know what I'm saying? And big speakers with the slaps and this. I'm like, you feel? And it wasn't playing. You feel? I'm just in the club, and the shit come on. I'm like, oh, this. Right. I'm lit right now. Right. You feel me? But so that was part of the progression on how like my music shit started going. Is it basically went from the club, and then after that, I started hearing about it being on the radio, and I had never heard it. And then one day I'm like, man, they told me leave my mama house, and they like, people keep telling me to hear my song on the radio. So I said, man, let me quit listening to my CD that come from the studio and listen to the radio.
Right.
I take my song, I take Gucci Backpack out the deck, listening to it, and then it's on the radio. I don't know if you ever did that in real life, like you listen to a song and take it out to take the CD out, and it's on the radio. And that's what happened to me. I'm like, hold on, to double check, like. You feel me? Like
make sure you took the CD out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like,
that's like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
That's like seeing your child being born.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I love him no matter what. Even if he grows up and he's a little asshole, I love him.
That shit felt good, blood. You feel me? And I think that's like a drug. When you get your receipt in this game, I always tell niggas, you're going to get your receipt. Just put the work in. Quit watching the clock. Grind with your head down. You feel me? You're going to get your receipt. You know what I mean? Just keep doing your thing.
Sometimes they got to email it to you. They don't just print it out right there. But
nah,
you're going to get it, though.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's in the mail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?